Before we start, I would like to point out that today is Saturday, November the 8th, which means that, it's the first Saturday since Guy Fawkes night. So there are fireworks aplenty going off. So hopefully we'll get through this and you'll be able to ignore them. And I'll be able to ignore them for that matter. But, yeah. I just thought I'd better let you know. I'll also point out that, as I said, it is November the 8th. The house directly opposite us has their Christmas decorations up. In fact, they put them up yesterday. November the 7th, and they have their decorations up. Anyway, good evening fuckers, and welcome to the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And this one is, this is the most recent, most recently acquired Dovetail Games DLC. In other words, the most recently acquired route DLC that you have to pay for. And I word it like that because this is a route that was actually gifted to me by Nicky Boom 75. And yeah, I mean, I was so stunned when he offered that I genuinely did not know how to react. And I still don't know the words to say, cheers, it's, it's really appreciated, especially when you consider how good this route is. I can say plenty when I'm talking about something I think is shit, but when it comes to talking about stuff that I think is good, or, stuff that I appreciate people doing for me, I barely know the words. But yeah, just take it from me, I really do appreciate that. It was a great gesture. Those who are familiar with me and stroke or my channel know that I never ask for donations of any kind. I certainly never expect them. It's one of the reasons why I do not like it when people set up Patreon and things like that, because by setting that up you are basically saying you expect people to give you money at some point, which is a way of thinking that I find abhorrent, especially when it comes to doing YouTube videos, because essentially what am I doing? I am sitting here on my arse playing video games. I do not expect, nor would I ever dream of asking people to give me money for doing such a thing. Anyway, all of that is by the by. So yeah, once again, Nicky Boom 75, cheers for that. Genuinely really appreciated. So the route is the West Highland Line Extension. This means that, there are not very many occasions when you are going to be making a journey to Fort William within the UK and you're going southbound for the entire journey. But this is one, because, the West Highland Extension is from Fort William to Mallaig, and we are going the other way round. So we're starting at Mallaig, and, the final destination is Fort William. And I need to relight my fag. So, for the loco, we are in a class 37. Specifically, we are in a 37/4. This is the version that comes with this route DLC. And I'm pretty sure it's, a version of the 37 that was sort of modified very specifically for the West Highland Line. You'll see why, especially when it comes to how this thing brakes. The brakes are taking a lot of getting used to, and to be honest, I'm nowhere near used to them. But yeah, as far as the train, we have 3 Mark 1 coaches which are in the West Highland livery. It's not that different from BR blue and grey, but it is different. So yeah, that is the train. We also have part of the radio equipment necessary for this line, and it does make me wonder how viable other locos are for doing this line, and you'll see what I mean once we get underway. Also, there is a point where, and it is involving that radio, I get to a certain point where I think what I'm doing is right, but I don't know. If I'm not doing it right, then I seem to be unable to use the radio again after a little while. Not ideal, but anyway, as far as these specifics, it's summer and it's clear because I wanted perfect conditions for you to see the scenery here. This is unquestionably the most scenic route within the entire game. So yeah, we want plenty of opportunities to see that. Which is why it's also 11 AM. So yeah, we'll have good daylight. So that's the setup. Let's get this underway. So, here we go. Advice messages can be toggled on and off using F8 key on your keyboard. I'm not going to toggle them off. I find them very useful indeed. So let's get the train set up. Believe it or not, that is it. So here we are. So this is our train here. This one is, So we are in 37405, the Strathclyde region. Quite handy actually that we've got the comparison. So here are our West Highland carriages, and yeah, you compare them to the BR blue, so you can certainly see they're different, but it's not a staggeringly huge difference. So we have 3 carriages. The one next to us there has 4. And this is Mallaig, small coastal town. I don't know if there's a port here at Mallaig or not. I think it's fairly close to Carl of Locos, so yeah. I'm not entirely sure what relevance that has, but maybe it has some. Not familiar with the region at all, I've never been here. But it looks fantastic. Right, there is very little to do, say, in terms of setting up. We won't bother with the interior lights because we certainly don't need it. Now, look how slow the brakes are at coming off. Like I say, I think this is a deliberate feature of the Class 37/4. Because things like braking and that are extremely important on a route like this, they've kept, they've done something with the brakes so that they are very, very slow to actually release. So we can now get underway. Fort William is 41.35 miles away. Away we go. Yeah, this section here, I'm not sure if we need to stop here or not, but I'm not going to take any chances. blue light is flashing, which certainly suggests that we need to stop. We are on a 1 in 75 uphill section here, which in fact I'm just seeing it's saying we have the token here for Mallaig to Mallaig. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing these place names right or not. But yeah, because we have that token there, we don't need to worry about this. We are already fine. That said, bet your life I'm going to get a SPAD error for that. So we have 30 mph limit at the moment. It goes up to 40 in just under a mile. So we need to make the call.
2278 signal on the
2278 signal on the station message over.
2278 have passed the station limit marker over.
2278 confirmed. You have passed the station limits marker. Out.
The one sort of negative that I have about this route is that voice, which is supposed to be you, the driver, it doesn't sound remotely natural. Here we are along the coast of Mallaig. So we are still going uphill. And it was fairly gentle there, but it's now gone up to a 1 in 50. And he's eased off a little, but it's still 1 in 75. It is not an easy climb. We will be getting plenty of external shots during this run, don't worry about that. So we're entering a 40 mph zone. Here we are. We will be stopping at every station, by the way. Quite a few stations where I don't think we will get all three carriages on the platform, but obviously we'll give it a go. So Mora, however you pronounce that, is our first stop. Now this is where we need to be a bit careful with the braking, because of course, yeah, it's not so much the amount of braking that we put on, but it's we've got to take into account how long it takes for the brakes to release, which is something I am pretty bad at doing. But this is a route where, yeah, you need to be pretty good at it. Now we're on a 1 in 70 downhill, so this is going to affect braking in, yeah, completely the opposite way. Yeah, see, we are accelerating. See here, we're braking too hard. I've got to release the brakes in order to let the train go forward a bit. And now we want to really brake hard here, because we've got all 3 carriages on the platform. But yeah, we are partly on the level crossing. So the level crossing alarm is going to annoy everybody, including me, and I'm sure you as well. And all of these cars that are stuck waiting, but we've got to wait for the doors to shut before we can get underway again. And then when we do get underway, we're straight into a 10 mph limit. In fact, we are already in that 10 mph limit. So the doors are shut. We've got to wait for the brakes to disengage. So, of course, with us being on a 1 in 68 downhill section, we started moving straight away. But the other thing is, it means we're going to have to control our speed through braking, even though we are going very, very slowly. There's a very, very gradual speed increase as we reach, well, yeah, actually we're into a 30 mph section now, but then we're very quickly into a 15 mph section. I think it's around here, we are quite close to a waterfall. Let's get the brakes on. Yeah, brakes were slightly slow to come into effect, so I did get that speeding error, which is annoying. But I think being able to do this route without getting any speeding errors, yeah, that's a big ask for me. We are entering the 30 mph zone. The ground has actually levelled out, so we're not picking up speed now. There we go, so we're into the 30 section. Start to get some speed up. Right, now we're in a 50 zone, you can get some decent speed up. 1 in 50 uphill. It's really slowing down our acceleration. And then when it levels out on the summit, it's not long before we then start going downhill. And it does look like it's fairly steep as well, so we'll coast this bit. There we go, 1 in 50 downhill. So we've got a 35 mph section fast approaching. Just look at this. I can only imagine how good this looks in real life doing this run. So this uphill section that's coming up will actually let it slow us down for a bit, because yeah, we're going to lose 10 mph. I think the uphill gradient we're approaching is going to help quite a bit with that. We may need to brake a little ourselves anyway. Yeah, this uphill section looks like it's getting very steep. So it's 1 in 90. I don't think that's quite enough though. We've got to slow down ourselves. There we go. We're okay. This is definitely a route that you do need to really concentrate on. There are 10 career scenarios that come with the route. 8 of those scenarios have a difficulty rating of 4 out of 5. Of the 2 others, one of them has a rating of 5 out of 5. And the last one, which is the easiest of the lot, that has a rating of 3 out of 5. And that's the easiest. So 1 in 50 uphill. So we have Arasay station coming up, which I think means we will need to get the token for the next stretch once we are there. getting speed a lot faster there than I thought we would. So yeah, now on a downhill 1 in 75. So speed is picking up. Yellow aspect, we should be okay there. So we are obviously going to be moved onto the other line. All on there. We'll make the request for the next.
2278 on the station message. Over.
2278.
That's all fine.
Directions to board. Clear of the single line. Requesting token to proceed. Over.
2278. Press send to accept token. Over.
Right. So.
2278. RS8 Glenfinnan. Section token on display. Over.
2278 RSA to Glenfinnan. Section token confirmed. You have permission to pass the direction stop board RSA and proceed to the DSB at Glenfinnan. Over.
2278. Understand I have permission to pass the DSB at RSA and proceed to the DSB at Glenfinnan. Out.
There we go. So yeah, we have the token, so we can go on now from RSA to Glenfinnan, as you just heard. If you could understand what was being said, it's not entirely clear. Anyway, is this stop done? So onwards, and clearly Glenfinnan will be our next stop. Actually, I say that, I think it's the next sort of like major stop. There might be some smaller ones within this RSA to Glenfinnan stretch. We are about to enter another 30 mph stretch. Yeah, that other train is still there at the station. Yeah, we're into the 30 mph zone. think it's somewhere around here is where I get the radio instruction, and I'm not entirely sure. Here it is. Let's make call. Oh, okay, right. That's not it.
2278 signal family.
2278 signal family. State your message. Over.
2278 have passed the station limit marker. Over.
2278 confirmed. You have passed the station limit marker. Out.
So yeah, right. Past the station limit marker. Here, I think, is where I start to have a few problems. You have the waterfall here. Okay, it does show the limitations of the engine, or the graphics engine, but nevertheless, still looks all okay to me. On a 1 in 50 uphill, so yeah, losing speed at quite a rate. Anyway, as I was saying, it is somewhere around here that we get a radio instruction, and I don't think I'm doing it right, but it looks right anyway, considering what we're told. Entering the 40 mph zone. There we go. On a 1 in 40 uphill now. I wanted to start losing a bit of speed, but not at the rate we were just then. So we have the 35 mph limit coming up in about 2/3 of a mile. We don't need to lose too much speed, so we are going downhill as we head towards it. That's not ideal. No, it's certainly not ideal. It's because we are going down that 1 in 50 downhill. I put the brakes on too hard. Now I'm going to wait an age for them to come off, at which point we've lost way more speed than I intended. So we can now accelerate to 35. We have Beesdale station coming up. First of several tunnels along this route. I think you said something like there's 17 tunnels along this route. Although some of those could be on the short branch from Fort William to Bridge of Spain, or Bridge of Span, however it's pronounced, Bridge of Spain. Bring us down to high teens. Okay, low 20s, that'll do. We might just be able to get all three coaches onto that platform. Yeah, I think we have. I mean, this first coach, yeah, the doors haven't opened, but yeah, that's fine. So yeah, this is Beesdale Station. Absolutely in the middle of nowhere, but right, we can get underway again. So accelerating up to 35 again. And immediately onto quite a steep downhill section. One in 62, one in 50, one in 48. So we'll let this do the accelerating for us. This looks like it goes on for quite a while. mind Mama Viaduct coming up. Yeah, as soon as we emerge on the other side of this tunnel, we are on said viaduct. Oh, that was close. I mean, there's certainly no shortage of locations for taking some fantastic screenshots while doing this run. We are now uphill, 1 in 50, so we definitely need to not only release the brakes but get the power back on. A 1 in 90. It's about to get quite a bit steeper. So 1 in 60 here. I actually thought it was going to be steeper than this. I was not expecting to be speeding there. So again, another pronunciation thing. I think this is the banks of, is it Loch Eel? We are now going up a 1 in 50 section here. So I'm wanting to put, like, you know, plenty of decent exterior shots, and I'd like to think it's obvious why I'm wanting to do that. But it does mean that, yeah, there are several occasions where I'm not paying the attention that this route certainly needs. So yeah, 1 in 100 downhill. To yeah, start heading downhill again. 1 in 52, 1 in 50. So we're going to be picking up speed at quite a rate. Right, so the next station. Oh my god. How the hell do we pronounce this? Loch Locko. It's as good as I'm going to do. Once we have left that station, we enter 40 MPH section. I mean, it doesn't sound a lot, but you know, bearing in mind that we've only got 26.25 miles to do, but our ETA says it's going to take us an hour and 5 minutes. So if there's any sections where we can pick up speed, I would like to take advantage of them. That said, we are nowhere near the speed limit here, but that's because we've got a station that's coming up. Let's get it down to low 20s or high teens. Here we go. Right, so press and hold select radio frequency, which is here. So I'm pressing and holding. I need to let us continue creeping along. But I'm still pressing and holding. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. So yeah, I've released it, but I now don't know if the radio is going to work again for this, you know, the rest of this run. I hope so, but yeah, I really have no idea. So looks like, yep, all three coaches are on the platform. So yeah, here we are at Locko. Yeah, almost certainly butchered that pronunciation, something fierce, but yeah, it's the best I can do. Doors are shut. This does look like there was at some point a second line, a passing loop or something. Well, I guess we will certainly know by the time we reach Glenfinnan as to whether or not the radio is still working. So I hope it is, but I genuinely have no idea. Trouble is, if I do the make call, yeah, nothing happens because yeah, it's not the right time, and there isn't a like test button that I can use, you know, like there was on the 153 and the 222. But here, where it's really important, we don't have that option. We've got a bit of a electricity substation there. So, entering the 40 zone. There we are, we're in there. Let's give it some welly while we can. There we go. Yeah, we never get the trackside view. We always get the overhead one. Oh. Speed suddenly shot up. Oh, that's why we're now 1 in 70 downhill. Short uphill section coming up, but we're just entering it now. 1 in 74. We'll try and get our speed back up to 35 because that's the speed limit that's fast approaching. We're into the 35 zone, but only for a mile, and then we can go back up to 40 again, which is very welcome indeed. Look at that, just looks so good. I'm sure there are going to be at least a few out there who will say, oh, it will look a lot better in Train Sim World. And yeah, I'm sure it would. But this route is not in Train Sim World. And it's highly unlikely that it ever will be, because Train Sim World does not seem to be aimed towards the sort of players who would want to do this kind of route. Train Sim World to me has an almost arcadey sort of feel to it. And that just means that, yeah, routes that need to be driven like this one are just never going to appear there. Entering the 40 zone. Let's pick up what speed we can. There we go. So in 1 mile, the max speed goes down to 30. Wondering if that means there is a station on its way. We're also now on a 1 in 100 uphill climb. It's now a 1 in 50. I won't throttle down yet because, yeah, we do need to lose speed. We're losing it at a reasonable enough rate as is. Although now, yeah, the gradient has eased off. It's about to get quite a bit steeper again. Here we go. 1 in 50. That'll certainly make sure that our speed comes down. Yeah, there we are. So, into the 30 zone. Quite a sharp curve here. Still a 1 in 50 climb. So that climb, along with the several curves we got here, certainly explains the 30 mph limit here. And let's face it, train derailed out here, you've got a long old wait for any emergency services to come and get you. Now 1 in 48. We are about to enter a 40 mph section. Here we are. But yeah, full throttle, and that's our acceleration rate. Now we are at the summit, and now we are starting to head downhill. will certainly need to control our speed through braking here. So yeah, here we go. So it's 1 in 75. Leveled out for now, but clearly see it's coming back. So I'll try trying to do this route in without the HUD. So 1 in 60 now. Looks like we are fast approaching the Glenfinnan area, so we'll see if the radio's okay fairly soon, probably once we are actually in Glenfinnan station. Glenfinnan station, just 1 mile away. 15 mph approach, because we are no doubt going to be going over points. Stopping at the specific platform for the southbound route. South and eastbound route. So 1 in 50 downhill, while we're also needing to bring our speed down to 15, the final approach to the station. So as much as I recommend this route, and believe me, I recommend it to everybody, it's probably not one for beginners. You wouldn't want this as your first ever route on the game. It is quite the challenge, to put it mildly. Just increase braking slightly. So ease it completely off, and now, yeah, just put it back on again. Mind you, we picked up a lot more speed than I thought, but we're still okay. So the yellow aspect, as we expected. There is another 37 within the station. Coming in a lot slower than I really wanted to, but one of those water tower things for steam trains. Yeah, easily able to get all three coaches on this. Press the make call. Okay.
2278.
Looks like we're all right.
Over.
2278 state your message.
Yeah, we're fine.
2278, standing direction stopboard. Clear of the single line. Requesting token to proceed. Over.
2278, press send to accept token. Over.
2278, Glenfinnan to Loch Eli toward bound. Section token on display. Over.
2278, Glenfinnan to Loch Eli toward bound. Section token confirmed. You have permission to pass the direction stopboard at Glenfinnan and proceed to the DSB at Loch Eli toward bound. Over.
2278, understand I have permission to pass the DSB at Glenfinnan and proceed to the DSB at Loch Eli toward bound. Out.
Right. So it was Loch Elob, was that? Anyway, we have permission to go ahead, so let's do just that. Can't accelerate too quickly. We are only in a 15 mph section here. It's too slow with the brakes. So, into a 30 zone. We'll soon need to make the call again, let them know that we are outside the station. Yeah, we can just use the 1 in 50 downhill gradient to do our accelerating for us.
2278, signaler, Bannerby, over.
2278 signaler, Bannerby, state your message. Over.
2278, have passed the station limit marker. Over.
2278, confirmed. You have passed the station limits marker. Out.
Now 1 in 45. So even though the brakes are on, our rate of descent, deceleration is really slow. So here's the Glenfinnan Viaduct, very well known site around here. Okay, coming to quite the grinding halt there. Let's get our speed back up. Yeah, we're now going uphill. That would explain why. So now in a 40 zone. So 1 in 70 downhill. Once again, we need to control our speed through braking. It has eased off, but it is still 1 in 95. It's by no means simple. Okay, so now 1 in 200 we're alright, but it's about to get steeper again. And in a mile we can actually go up to 55. That is the fastest we've been able to do for quite some time. So 1 in 60 downhill. Again, we'll let the slope do the accelerating for us. It's accelerating us at a rate that, yeah, is a lot faster than I thought it would be. Now 1 in 50 downhill. I have a feeling this 55 section is not going to be particularly long, but I certainly want to take advantage of it. So we're entering it now. Now we're set. Let's go. Ground is completely leveled out. Yep, this is the fastest we've been for quite a while. Also the flattest and straightest part of the entire line, and it's likely to stay that way. We do have a curve coming up, not a particularly sharp one. The fact that we don't need to reduce speed for it says, yeah, everything's okay there. Downhill. 1 in 90 downhill. So, block your side station coming up. A mile and a half. Our speed down to low 30s. Okay, well I can only assume that yeah, the radio frequency has been changed. So yeah, all of the yeah, coaches are on the platform. So this is Loch Eel side. How's that for a scenic railway station? So Fort William is now less than 10 miles away. Go straight up at 55. certainly hear the gear changes, and it sounds like they are kept at the very low sort of gear ratios that it would if this was a freight service. But considering the gradients and that this thing's having to traverse, I'm not surprised. In fact, I'd say that was definitely the smart thing to do. Still only getting the overhead view here though. One thing we have not looked at, we actually have the passenger views. So that's all we get to see is the first class passenger cabin. It's not a bad place to be though when you know, on a run like this. So, Loch Eel station itself, very, very small platform. Certainly not going to get the entire train on this one. Ah, so yeah, Loch Eel OB, OB for outward bound. Alright, okay. In which case I think we would certainly have to stop here regardless of how small this platform is, because yeah, we need the token for the final section. how small this station is. I mean, it's still not by any stretch of the imagination the smallest in Scotland. At the moment, no one can get off here. Let's get at least one of the carriages on there. And that may have to do. Okay.
2278, signaller, Mallaig, over.
2278, signaller, Mallaig.
Yep.
State your message, over.
2278,
All able to get off.
Clear on the single line, requesting token to proceed, over.
2278, press send to accept token, over.
2278, Loch Ely Road down to Fort William, section token on display, over.
2278, Loch Ely northbound to Fort William, section token confirmed. You have permission to pass the direction stopboard of Loch Ely northbound and proceed to Fort William, over.
2278, understand I have permission to pass the DSB at Loch Ely northbound and proceed to Fort William, out.
In other words, we can now set off. But it's the inclusion of this and the tokens and that to move on that, yeah, does make me wonder if I can actually use any other loco on this route. Now, I have seen videos of players using other locos, so clearly I can, but when I look at what those other locos are, they're always like AP, and they're always locos that have, you know, the radio that has been simulated. So I don't know if I can just use any old one.
2278, signaller, Mallaig. State your message, over.
2278, half past the station limit marker, over.
2278, confirmed. You have passed the station limits marker, out.
So only 5 miles from Fort William, but the ETA says that it's still going to take us 21 minutes to get there. Quite see why it was going to take us that long to do, you know, well, less than 5 miles now. We're on a 1 in 60 uphill. So yeah, it's 1 in 150 downhill part, but it's enough to yeah, have our speed still increasing. But not now. Now, yeah, we are uphill, 1 in 160. We have this 10 mph section coming up as we approach. Oh, that was close. That was a red signal there. There was no way I was going to be able to stop in time, but yeah, we're okay. We have core pack station. Well, looking at how long this 10 mph section is, okay, I think I'm starting to see why the ETA is saying it's going to take us so long. Brakes way too hard there. Okay, we didn't come to a halt, but we weren't far off it. So unfortunately we've got the yeah, level crossing alarm going off constantly while we are stopped here. But yeah, so this is, no, I say it's either core pack or core patch, one of the two. So yeah, we even have the lock gates take us into, I don't know if this is then therefore be part of the Caledonian Canal. I mean, we are close to Fort William, so it could well be. Okay, doors are all shut. These brakes are going to take an eternity to release. It says we are in a 40 zone. Well, I'll certainly take that. I thought we were still in a 10. Well, we'll soon find out anyway. Yeah, we're okay. But we do have this 25 section coming up here. So another station, Banner V. Very slow entrance to this station, only 5 mph. There must be some like pretty old, rather sort of rickety bridge or something. It's the only thing I can think of as to why it is so slow. You know, that's shunting speed. Into the 25 zone. We then get an absolutely superfluous 40 mph, a very small 40 mph zone, and then that is more or less immediately followed by 5 mph zone, and there's a red signal there. So it's now turned green. So yeah, we slowed down too much. It is indeed a very old, small, rickety bridge. That's the reason why. Jesus Christ. So yeah, this bridge is the reason why we are having to go so slowly. We've got a whole flight of locks there. I think that might be where the Caledonian Canal ends up playing into the sea. So unfortunately we've got that rather annoying level crossing alarm going off constantly, and it's right in front of us, but yeah, we've got to stop at the station. So yeah, we're going to have that throughout this stop. Hopefully this stop will be a fairly short one. Of course it won't be, but so anyway, yeah, this is Banner V station. Again, looks really nice. It's a shame that that bloody alarm is there to make it very annoying. Anyway, doors have shut. These brakes can't release soon enough so we can actually start getting away from that alarm. So we're in a 40 zone, so So at least we can get some speed up and away from this level crossing. At last. Still here in the distance. So 15 mph section coming up. That is the approach to Fort William Station. Quite a few sidings now. Fort William station itself, right there on the route display. We are still over half a mile away from the 15 mph section, and yet I've been braking for it here. So yeah, we have semaphore signals here. So the whole token thing, yeah, no longer applies. So I think that section there is the line taken if you were heading south down towards Helensburgh. And ultimately from there on to Glasgow. So that yellow signal aspect up ahead should be for us. Of course, absolutely no problem with that being there. we won't go right up to the buffers. This is good enough. And there we are. So that was Mallaig to Fort William in the class 37/4, and what a fantastic run. That is such a great route. I mean, if you like your your fast intercity runs, this one is not for you. But if you like the scenic routes, this is a must-have. This is the most scenic route of the game. I find it hard to believe that there is another one that beats this. And if you like the routes where you've got to keep your concentration up throughout the whole thing, then again, this is a must-have. Absolutely fantastic route. So I did get one spad, and I was speeding 6 times. But given how difficult that run is, so you've really got to keep both eyes on everything you're doing. I'll actually take that. Yeah, I actually consider that me doing quite well on this route. I'm a long way from being able to get an actual clear run on this one. So there you go. Yeah, great stuff. Can't praise that route highly enough. So that was Mallaig to Fort William in the class 37/4. That is this video done, and we will see you at the next one.